Guys, I love to have a bit of optimism when it comes to games, but phew, fucking billionaires and all these goddamn, I don't even really want to say capitalists because these fucking people are just vampires, If you don't know, Unity is basically have changed their terms of service, where they've made it to where they can essentially siphon infinite amounts of money. Basically, they can bankrupt businesses via making it to where every time you download a game, you got to pay for that, or at least the business does. Which basically makes it to where well, other videos can explain it a lot better, but from what my understanding is, essentially they've Unity has decided to go the vampire route in their business practices. Um, you know, basically, if your game becomes or hits a certain threshold of downloads and revenue, not just counting money from the game, but money period, from everything, you basically have to pay Unity extra. And again, one of the big issues people have, and I also have, is the fact that they basically made it to where some ordinary gamer, I believe, said it, where imagine getting, you've made like one game, and you pulled a Scott Kaufman, but with a significantly smaller portfolio of games, and one or two games, and then it gets popular, and suddenly you've become bankrupt. You've bankrupted yourself because of a passion project, simply because the company has decided that, the very act of downloading the game, is is it needs compensation. Uh, and well, to be honest with you, some people have a bit of hope. I honestly think this is going to probably kill indie gaming the way it is currently. Put it simply, like everybody else has said, this is probably not just going to be Unity doing this. I imagine that pretty much most large game engines will probably do this, or something similar, to the point where, you know, if you basically, literally, do you want to bankrupt yourself? And to be honest with you, people are like, oh, well, I personally advocate, if you can make your own engine, do it without a question of a doubt. Make your own product. Don't let, you know it's not that you don't go into business with other people. Don't go into business with people like Unity, the people who run Unity, or pick any major video game publisher or developer. Publishers really fucking hammer it hard. Like, do you want to make a deal with the devil and potentially ruin the rest of your life because you wanted to make a little pew pew game? You want to try and make something that's cute. That's gonna make a lot of money for me. That's literally what Unity is doing right now. And to be honest with you, I think that the worst part of this, and it hasn't happened now, but I guarantee it's gonna happen. You're gonna see games that simply vanish because, you know, why would you're not in video game development anymore. You got some fucking point and click adventure game that took like 5 minutes for you to make, and now it's becoming popular. and you're suddenly getting hit with bills upon bills upon bills when you just can't afford that. Why wouldn't you just delete the game to avoid being stacked with lifelong debt to a company that owns the software that you bought? You know, it's literally you. Literally, the best way I could describe it is vampirism in the form of company and finances. You know, I mean, hell, Arch Warhammer, some ordinary gamer, fucking hell, you probably can find your favorite talking head that's talking about it in more detail, but, you know, basically, Unity has pretty much made it to where going into video games is, and, you know, if you can't make your own engine, you know, if you can't pull a Hrot and fucking make your if you're not one guy who can build a whole ass game from the ground up, engine and all, or a team that can do that, it's physically dangerous to get into video game development because you could become lifelong, you know, financial servants to whichever game, you know, engine you bought, you know. And it's literally the case of you're paying the company to fuck you over financially and ruin your financial prospects for the rest of your life. You know, because people liked your game. It's literally, you know, all these video game companies, they've seen mods and they've seen all these games that go popular on their engines. And they've basically decided they want that money. You know, I honestly don't expect we're ever going to see something like a CSGO or a Team Fortress. Fucking, hell, even, you know, well, I don't want to say mediocre. I've never played it or researched a lot, but stuff like the Forgotten City, which was basically a Skyrim mod turned full-blown game, graphics and all. Though a lot of core stuff still involves a lot of Skyrim code. So imagine if CSGO had this happen to them, you know, financially, where, you know, because theoretically it could happen. You know, people talk about the game engines. I honestly fully expect that modding is, well, if you don't get sued, they're basically going to tell you that they're just going to take your product, probably. I fully guarantee you that ambitious mod projects, they're gonna fucking die. You know, games made on, you know, Unity games, obviously, but other kind of games are just gonna straight up die. You know, I could straight up see it. I could see games made on Unity that the devs just don't want to bother, you know, going through. Why would you go through the bother of all that for, you know, a cookie clicker game or some fucking shit like that? You know, it's like, you want to get into, it's like, sometimes you really, really feel like you dodged a bullet by, you know, not going into a hobby, you know, or at least, I mean, hell, realistically, I could see most methods of making a game that involve using another engine that's already made being basically either financially strangled or just made illegal. Not necessarily just made illegal, but theoretically mods are illegal. You theoretically shouldn't legally be able to make them, but game companies, you know, I mean, they saw the financial and, you know, social, you know, social credit and financial credit that they could reap from that, you know. Just look into the subject yourself if you really want to know. But I have a feeling that's gonna happen here too. That unless your mod is something more akin to like the single stuff, fucking the Umbra sword from the Creation Club and stuff like that, or simple reskins. You want to do total conversion mods? You wanna make a game on a previously known engine, or hell, even take inspiration. I mean, hell, with it's like, do I want to make this? It's not. It's even deeper than that. If you've known about the loading screen minigame thing, where, this, I forget the company. You probably find this out yourself, but this company copyrighted the ability to do that. That's why, when you had those painfully long, you know, loading screens, which, seeing as how loading screens are getting longer for some fucking reason, I wonder why. Couldn't poor programming? That's bigoted. You just can't say that. They tried their best. Good thing that patent went out, and hopefully nobody else re-copyrights that. Or, you little kids are gonna be experiencing a hell of a wait, You will experience the pain I have gone through, But, do you put this mechanic in the game? Are you gonna bankrupt your business and you and everyone who works for it for doing that? Do you want to use this engine? Do you want to do the same thing? It's become such a minefield that, like, I wouldn't go into it. Fuck no, I wouldn't go into that shit. Or at least I wouldn't go into it involving the programming or anything like that, because, Jesus, you do a double jump and suddenly Nintendo's suing you for everything you own. You literally a wild card situation, if you don't know. Wild Card basically was sued for the entirety of Ark's revenue that they made, which is why Snail Games has them, which is another thing, it's like so much fucking bullshit, really. And I mean, do you even want to try? Do you want to try? Do you want to try to go for your passion, or do you want to be able to buy food, consistently? And then the people who actually do get fucking the privileged positions in video gaming are fucking useless twats. People who can't program for shit and only love to fucking call you stupid for liking the game franchise that they're working on, Me? I don't like fucking Metal Gear. Why would I? I just work here, Literally, I just work here, Ugh. It just makes you love video games, doesn't it? Makes you just not want to cry every fucking time you boot up any game ever. Ugh. Am I gonna be able to play this? Fucking tomorrow or fucking. I guess give your opinion here or somewhere else. I mean, don't ever buy Unity as a fucking thing. Ugh. Don't ever buy any of the fucking shit. I guess see ya. Assuming I haven't been copyrighted.